Hey everyone, what's going on? Joey here, and I'm making this video because you guys had a ton of questions about Ukrainian refugees. And so right now, we're going to talk about my experience so far, because for those who don't know, about 3 weeks ago, we were so fortunate enough to be able to bring Julia's sister from Ukraine all the way here to the United States under the refugee program, Unite for Ukraine, or Uniting for Ukraine. And I made a quick little video for you guys about a week and a half ago, pretty much detailing what we did in order to get her here, so on and so forth. And I told you guys, if you had any questions, to let me know in the comment section or send me a message on Instagram. And boy, did you guys have a lot of questions. I guess there's a lot of people wanting more information about, what is it this program does for Ukrainians? How do you get them here? So on and so forth. So I just wanted to quickly put together a little video and answer some of those questions. Before we get started though, please make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. Anyway, let's get started with how she even got here. When it comes for the Unite for Ukraine bill, I'm calling it a bill, though it's an act, though it's a couple other things, it's a program. Right now, there's 100,000 spots that allow 100,000 Ukrainians to come into this country. In order to do so, you have to have a family member or a sponsor go ahead and submit all these financial documents to show that when this person comes to the United States, they could go ahead and take care of the refugee. And so when it came time to do my sister-in-law's paperwork, we put our stuff on there and we submitted everything. Now, unlike other things for USCIS, which is the governing body that takes care of all the travel stuff for internationals and stuff like that, it normally takes months to get things done, and we'll talk about that a little later because there is something we're trying to do that's going to take months, and I mean 9 months. When it came to this program, we submitted it, and about 2 weeks later, she was approved. Now, unlike regular visas, which is something you actually have to go to an embassy, they staple it inside, laminate it inside, or give you a certain kind of card, this was emailed to you. It was an emailed visa of like, go to the airport, buy your tickets with this, show them that, and you're good to come in. I already gave you the experience of actually how she came to Newark and how nice they were and so on and so forth. The one thing I have to say about this program is it's amazing that they're able to get them through so quickly. It's something that, like how they did with the Afghanistans, they came through really, really quickly within 2 weeks. But the program differs so much compared to many different programs out there for refugees, because with the Unite for Ukraine program, the only thing the United States does is they waive the fee, which is $575 to apply for this, and they just hand you a visa. That's it. Other refugee programs allow for, money, a monthly of allowance, some help for housing and things like that. This program doesn't offer a thing, and I mean that. You can look up the bill. This bill was kind of just quickly thrown together with no, mindset of like, well, what other programs could we do? I think that when they were making this bill, it was kind of like let's just get them here and then we'll figure it out. Now, up to this point, as far as the numbers I can find, which are from a few days ago, they said about 35,000 people were approved. More did apply, but only 35,000 were approved and either are in the United States or making their way to the US. When you get approved for this visa or this refugee program, you have 90 days to come to this country. So for example, my sister-in-law had from May 9th to August 9th. And of course, if you let it lapse, you'd have to reapply again. Now, when they come to this country, it's not as simple as, they're here, let's go do this, let's go do that. Remember, they're coming from a war-torn country. My sister-in-law, for example, got evacuated 3 separate times to Poland, 4th time to America. She came to this country with legitimately just a backpack. That was it. Which means you as a US citizen have to foot the bill for everything. She comes to this country, they're required to get medical documents and screenings and things like that. It could cost you between $300 to $500. Yeah, we're on the bill for that, which she just did literally the other day. It was $250 plus another $100 for a couple shots, then blood work, which is going to be another $130. So it adds up really quickly. Then you submit that stuff to USCIS, and then there's other things you have to do, whether it be biometrics and so on and so forth. But the kicker of the whole situation is, you come to this country, you're given this visa, this refugee status, but you can't work here. Yeah, correct. you come here as a refugee and you're not able to work. You have to apply for another program, which will then assign you a social security card and allow you to get what's called a work authorization paperwork, which is kind of like a little card, which it pretty much tells the U.S. you're working here. It takes 9 months to get. 9 months. Coming from a country with nothing. No money, barely any clothes. I mean, she had like 2 outfits and that was it. And nothing else. And then you're told you can't work. I know. Something isn't right, because there are other refugee programs out there that allow work authorization within 30 days. 9 months is kind of insane. Could you imagine not working for 9 months and being dependent on someone else for 9 months? We're not talking about children here, adults. There's something wrong with the program, obviously, and it's something that we definitely need to talk to our representatives too. I mean, you could call your representatives and say like, yo, what the hell's going on here? Could you help them out? Because before you know it, there's going to be 100,000 people in our country who want to work, who are very hard workers, but legally cannot work. And so for the past week, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to call around. I actually had a congressman's office call me today, trying to figure out what we can do here to allow someone to work legally. And it's such an issue, and it's something you don't think about. You know, it's one thing to have to take care of someone, but then telling them, also you can't work, it's like, what? It's kind of a smack in the face when they came. It's not their fault that they're here. It's one of those things where, you know, their business is gone. The people aren't there. You know, she came from towns where people were getting killed left and right. I mean, it's nasty. And so, and that was one of the big questions you guys had, was like, what's going on in the process for that? When it comes to her, at least, we're trying to get her a green card status, so we're going to have to apply for that in probably a month or so anyway, which will definitely help get moving with the work authorization, social security card and all that. But remember, without a social security card, imagine, without that number, you can't do a lot of things. Open credit cards, debit cards, things like that. And it definitely makes things a lot more difficult. A lot of people had questions about, are you guys going to do any traveling when she's here? How is she going to be able to, like, afford things, so on and so forth? Well, you know, luckily for Julie and I, we do have some trips planned. Obviously, we had canceled, as I mentioned before in other previous videos, we'd canceled every single trip we did this year except for one, which was our cruise, because it cost us, I think it was like $1,500, and if you were to cancel it, you would not get any of the money back, or they would have to keep like a $700 deposit. I said to Julie, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So we're still going on that, but Ira will not be able to, because it's one of those things where then you have to get another room and it costs more money and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do a couple road trips. This channel was started for road trips. So hopefully in the next, month or so, we're going to do maybe a mountain trip for a weekend, or maybe fly somewhere, but we'll figure it all out. But anyway, if you guys have any other questions you want to know about the program, how life is, life is still life. We're still going every day. She either goes to work with Julia or she stays home with me. Like today, she's home. And we go and volunteer to do the medic bags, as you've seen in my videos and on TikTok. But if you have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to update you guys from time to time, because it really is interesting learning so many different things with this refugee program. You know, there really is no help. I'm not exaggerating. There's no program out there, at least at the time of this video, that helps out Ukrainian. I have to specifically say Ukrainian, because there are other ones for whether you came from like Cuba or I almost said Siberia, from Syria and things like that. So it's really strange on how this program is working out. Anyway, I'm Joey. Please stay safe and sound. See you later. Bye.